What's up, everybody? We're back again. I'm Chris.
And I'm Anthony.
And this is the Red, White, and Blue Life. We finally got a show done in a weekly time now.
Yeah. This is the second one in a row after our little hiatus.
It's the little milestones that we're really aiming for here.
That's it. Just one step at a time.
Yeah. Anything new develop here this week?
There's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot just today, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should start recording on Mondays normally, just because of how much shit happens on Mondays alone.
Well, I think all bad news is given on Fridays.
Just so you forget about it over the weekend?
By Monday, yeah. People live their lives on the weekend, and then by Monday.
I don't know. Because I feel like new things drop on Monday. That way they can talk shit about them all week for a week, and then they fade out.
Maybe bad news is just delivered on Fridays.
Just
typically.
the bad news?
I think so.
But most of it's bad these days.
That way, people only get fired on Friday nights at 5. So that way, you don't come back in the next day and shoot up the place.
Because it's closed?
Yeah.
But we work in a hospital.
That's true. Well, we're not, anyway.
All right, anyways. So, speaking of shootings that shouldn't have happened.
And bad news being delayed until Monday.
Kyle Rittenhouse, the case that we spoke about last week. I'm sure most of you know already what happened. If not, go check out our last episode or just Google the name Kyle Rittenhouse and you'll get a whole bunch of stuff. Basically, he went out to a riot in Kenosha and ended up having to defend himself, killed 2 people, injured another, and the trial has wrapped up today. Both sides presented their closing arguments, and goes to the jury now.
Yeah, now we're waiting to see, how this process ends. For some people are saying it's going to be good for him. They're saying it's likely not guilty. They did just drop the should he have had the gun charge.
Yep, that got dropped today.
Yeah, it was not an SBR, so he was allowed to have it. They were arguing over the semantics, whether the overall length of the weapon or the barrel length, and it didn't apply. So that that one got dismissed. So now it's the main charges. Right,
and I don't know. I tried to watch the whole closing arguments today. It's a lot of stuff that they say. So I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I did get to watch the whole prosecution part of it. I haven't heard the defendant's closing arguments yet, which to me is the most interesting. But I will say that there's a lot of things that they're definitely trying to paint Kyle in a certain light that's opposite of what he set out to do that day.
Well, yeah.
They called him a quack doctor.
A quack doctor?
A quack doctor. Because... And I quote, I'll find it right now. Because he came out, he said that he was an EMT, and then they keep bashing him because once he shot the first guy, he didn't try to help him. And then once he shot the other 2 people, he didn't turn around and try to help them. Which I think is a little odd.
Well, yes. If you're in fear for your life, I don't think he was an actual EMT though, was he?
No, he's not.
No.
But
one of the first things they do teach you in EMT school, which is ironic because I have my EMT shirt on today. The number one thing is the scene safe? Before you provide any medical.
Well, they teach us that too as nurses.
Yeah, but I mean, talking about on scene when you get somewhere is it safe? Right. Before EMS even rolls up. They're usually on standby, but when you get there, is the scene in all your clinical and all your I forget what they call them, your the mock the
codes and stuff.
Yeah, they have first thing you have to do is scene safe. If not, if you don't say that, you get dinged.
ACLS, so yeah, PALS, all the certifications we have. That's part of ours too. So scene safety is number 1 because if you're not going to be safe when you're helping people.
Someone else is going to be helping you.
You got to bail. Yeah. In other words, you just become another patient. So, I mean, that's a big argument that I believe the prosecution probably brought up. Like I said, I haven't watched that half, but I mean, you can't just shoot somebody and then be the
savior.
Not even that. I mean, sure. Like if he shot him and then wasn't then chased by a bunch of people, maybe he could have, waited. But he turned around. He went to the body and. He did actually stand there, and he picked up his phone. He made the wrong call. He called his buddy that he came with, and said, I shot someone. But then people started chasing him, so he just dipped. But he was, I don't know what his intentions were when he went and actually went back to the body after he shot him. But, yeah. So they called him a quack doctor for saying that he was an EMT and then shooting people and then not providing help. But they make this weird point. They made it a couple times. And someone at work, I've talked to people at work about this too. They said if he was an EMT, how come he wasn't like actually helping people? I mean, he did. Some lady twisted her ankle, and he
was out there asking, does anyone need medical attention?
Yeah, some lady twisted her ankle. He went up and wrapped her ankle, and then someone cut their finger. He went up and wrapped up their finger and gave them some gauze. And a lot of people are pointing to the fact that that's not really helping. Well, he's not an EMT. He wasn't a real EMT. He's not out there on an ambulance with all the equipment. You can't expect him to provide a level of care that's outside of his abilities.
Right.
And those twisted ankles and that cut finger were in his...
Right. Even if he was an EMT, their scope isn't very big.
No.
They're pretty much limited to bandaging boo-boos, splints, anything non-invasive.
Stop the bleed.
Yeah.
And emergency medications.
Yeah. And there's only like 7 meds I think EMTs can push now.
Right.
Well, but
it varies by state, but either way, it's not... You can't expect him to go out there and just
right. It's not like he carries like a chest decompression needle and...
Yeah, no.
But
nobody can expect that.
I think his heart was in the right place of, hey, he doesn't know what... You probably went in there with tension. It might be more serious.
Right.
So, I mean, I think his heart was in the right place that he was there to help people. He didn't know what he was walking into. Definitely didn't think he was walking into this, though.
No, definitely not. And one thing that I did notice or come to realize after watching a lot of the trial and talking to people about the case, when it comes to the other 2 people who got shot, if they honestly believed that he was an active shooter, were they in the wrong for trying to stop him? Anthony Huber...
Right. So you're saying if they thought he was an active shooter, were they in the wrong trying to stop him?
Right.
Well, that's your own decision that you have to live with.
I mean, technically they didn't break the law, but in any case where you go to try to stop an active shooter, there's a damn good chance that you could get shot.
Right.
So, unfortunately...
Especially if you're unarmed.
Right.
So...
One of them, I mean, they both were armed with something. One a skateboard, the other one a gun. But
yeah, I mean, if he really thought he was an active shooter, why didn't he just shoot him? Would be my line of thought.
He says that he's not that type of person.
Maybe he could have asked him very nicely. Did he try that? I don't think he tried that.
I don't think he approached like that before he reached for his gun.
So he's that type of person.
Yeah, he just said he couldn't actually pull the trigger. Which I just don't think Kyle gave him the chance to be honest.
Which is fair.
As soon as he saw the gun, he shot him.
That's fair.
And the defense, or the prosecution, was trying to make the case that you can see in the video when this guy, Groswitz, approaches him with his hands up, Kyle puts the gun down and then looks at it, and the prosecution is trying to make the case that he re-racked the gun.
Yeah.
Which is not true. And that... the guy who he shot next, Gage, he took that as him trying to prepare the gun to shoot him, so then that's why he pulled his gun. This is all happening in a matter of like a half a second, though.
Right.
So I don't know.
So what do you think? What do you think the ramifications are of a not guilty verdict? And also, second part of that question is, what do you think the ramifications are of a guilty verdict?
I think... So it kind of leads me to a bad place because I feel like almost like I did with when that cop got tried after the murder of George Floyd, where like if he gets let off, it's going to lead to some level of unrest in the community.
Mm-hmm. So then do you think the governor was justified to activate the National Guard in preparation of the...
Because he thinks he's going to be not guilty?
Oh, either way, just in case. Do you think he should have activated the National Guard? Just on the off chance that he is not guilty.
I mean, yeah. I don't think he was wrong in that. I think that was probably a good plan because as you've seen, as everyone's seen in the past, when things don't go in favor of a certain side, they like to throw rocks and start fires.
So, do you think that there will be, if he is not guilty, do you think that will increase the amount of armed people to riots?
I mean, I don't think so. Because most people who are law-abiding citizens who carry guns I don't ever think that Kyle was right in going into that place in the first place. Most reasonable people wouldn't have put themselves in that situation. And that's where we go to the point that he's a 17-year-old that doesn't...
Brain still developing?
Sure. Yeah, if you want to say that. But, I mean, either way, it's just he didn't make a good decision. If he really wanted to go... I don't think it goes towards intent. I just think he made a dumb decision by going there with a gun.
Right. But what do you think
he would have been more effective without it?
What do you think this means for future?
I don't think it's going to
rioters
change.
Or
I don't think it's going to change much because I don't think that a lot of gun-owning citizens want to go out and just patrol the streets and try to be an EMT. I don't think that's a common thing that people want to do.
No, but if they're saying it's okay, it's always been okay for self-defense.
100%.
But now that it's just highlighted, do you think people will show up armed in response to this?
There may be more people there, like
think they can get
defending
away
their
with
own
more?
property, but I don't think there's going to be just more people out there with guns that are there to cause issues.
Okay.
I don't think anyone wants to be in Kyle's situation or anyone else's situation as a responsible, reasonable person.
Right.
I mean, we both said last week we wouldn't have went.
Yeah.
But put in that position, if we absolutely had to be, I would have probably made the same decisions that he made, but except for the one that was being there in the first place.
Yeah. So, on the other hand, what do you think? If it's guilty, what do you think that's going to look like?
I think it's going to be nothing. I think it's going to be a bunch of "I told you so."
If he's guilty,
yeah. Like I said, the law-abiding gun citizens of America aren't the ones out there doing a bunch of dumb shit that are, causing issues. I don't think they're going to go out and riot with their guns. It's just not.
Yeah. So, and then third option actually is some people are talking about is the mistrial. Way of the mistrial. Do you think that's like
for a second there? I thought they were going to purposely try to mistrial it.
That is a conspiracy going around right now. Is that the prosecutor's trying to throw, so it gets a mistrial.
I mean, there was a second there where he was like questioning his right to remain silent.
Right.
I mean,
and then he
can't do that
twice, and he got yelled at by the judge. He said he was paraphrasing here, but he said, "You're towing the line. You may have gone over it. I'm not sure, but you're definitely towing it." But one of the conspiracy theories going around is that he's throwing the case. They get a mistrial. If it were to come like that, I'm pretty sure he would get disbarred. So I don't think that's true because I don't think he would risk his license, his income and everything to throw the case. But if it were to happen, then if they do throw the case, the prosecutor already knows how the defense is going to argue their case. So it does give them they already know how the witnesses are going to answer and what the defense is going to argue. So it does give them a upper hand with a new jury of how it will turn out.
I mean, well, it's going to be hard to find. I don't know how they find people. I guess people don't watch the news every day. There's a lot of people who don't. And there's a lot of people who don't surround themselves with social media. But I don't know. This is a very, very public case.
Yeah.
All of it was available to watch live and or after the fact on YouTube or on the internet somewhere. I mean, you could see all of it, all the videos, all the ones that were used in the trial, and everything is out there. It's not, so I feel like it's going to be hard to find another impartial jury to take the stand from that small. Right. I mean, Kenosha is not that small of a city, but
I forget what case it was done, but they can always move district or move areas as well if they can't find anyone. They can find people eventually, but I don't think he's going to throw the case. I just think he just wasn't very good.
No, and I don't think I think throwing the case just because of that it doesn't change the facts of of what happened.
No, but they won't ask the same questions in the same way.
Well, no, but if he's found not guilty based on the evidence doesn't change from case to case. So as long as the evidence is portrayed in the same light from jury to jury, if they look at it objectionably,
which is probably why they wouldn't do it
Right.
again anyway.
right.
So,
So another thing that they did today during that was they tried to paint Mr. Rosenbaum as like a good guy,
yeah.
almost. Like they tried to make it to where he was trying to stop Kyle because he had a gun, instead of the same person who 10 minutes before was saying, shoot me, N-word, shoot me, N-word, to a bunch of people. Yeah. He wasn't very pretty that day.
No.
He was not his best day. They described him as having a Napoleon complex because he was 5 foot tall, but he was harmless, is what the defense or the prosecution said.
It doesn't. You don't have to be very tall to pull a trigger on a gun that he
Or
had.
rape children. But anyways, is that too far?
Too soon. Yeah, but that's one thing. Like, people were saying that, like, oh, it wasn't a big deal. He shot 3 people. He killed the.
Well, shit.
We had some guests here.
Hi, guys.
That's like how to open up doors.
I didn't expect that.
You might have to pause it.
Okay, pause.
Pause right here. Sorry about that, guys. We got a couple. We had a guest couple pop into the show. They wanted to get on the show. I get it. So we were saying that people were arguing that it wasn't a big deal who we shot because one was a rapist, one was a serial domestic abuser, but he didn't know that going into it, so that shouldn't really play a role.
No, it shouldn't be a rule. And it doesn't matter because, he doesn't have the right to just shoot people because of that.
Right. So
I don't know. And then the last thing that they really hit was asking the jury, would you have done this? Like, if you were in the same situation.
Probably on the other side of the baby gate.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, time out again.
Hold on.
No.
Okay. So
We really need a studio.
yeah, my house is, and it's only going to get worse from here.
Yeah.
Pretty soon we're going to have a little girl knocking on the door. My daughter trying to get in.
I want to
We'll
do
let
my
her say
show
hi,
with one of the little front carriers.
We could do that. Maybe after you have yours, we'll do one show with both of them just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the way the prosecution really tried to close out their arguments was trying to hit, like, would you have done this? Like, if you were in the same situation as Kyle, would you have acted in the same manner?
I don't think that's fair to ask.
I don't think so either.
Because some people don't want the responsibility of carrying a gun.
No.
And it's in states where you can carry a gun, it's a real risk that you have to take. Are you able to shoot someone?
Right.
And the answer is not yes for everybody.
No. So that, I don't really know how to play that, but it just seems kind of hard.
Yeah.
But I did find out.
And second off, that shouldn't even matter if they would do it or not. That's not how you determine innocence or guilt. I don't know why that was relevant.
It's not, but I guess that's just a way to play with the jury and get their own emotion into the decision,
maybe.
Because most people can't handle that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they would probably think more than once before pulling the trigger so fast.
Yeah.
But there's, even in police training, or after all the police shootings, they did a lot of things where, like, I remember, like, newscasters and people were being put in situations that police were put into, like, during their training exercises, like, to decide whether to shoot or not shoot.
Yeah.
And they failed almost every time.
Yeah. There's one where they did the live fire with the ammunition rounds, and it didn't go well for them.
It doesn't go well. It's just those split-second decisions where you think that your life is on the line. You don't always make the right one. But the fact of the matter in these situations was that every single person that he shot was trying to harm him.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it plays out here.
See how it plays out. And I didn't know this, but Mr. Grosskreutz, the last guy, the one who survived, who got shot in the arm, he's suing the city for $10 million for saying that the police in Kenosha basically were working with a militaria group, and therefore, like, that led to this, because they were, like, allowing these guys to be on the streets.
I don't disagree with that.
I do and I don't. Because on one hand, you're allowed to have guns.
Yes.
On the other hand, they're not allowed to be police. So it really depends on which ones that they were, which ones that they're talking about.
Well, keep talking. I have there's a law case. I'm trying to remember look up the name of it here. That the police don't have an obligation to protect you. You can't hold them liable
for not protecting you.
Yeah.
Does that go back to like the scene safety type thing? Or like if it's not safe for them to be there personally, then they can't? So how does that work?
Let's say that they didn't interfere. Like in this, I don't think he's going to be able to sue him because he didn't save their life. Because he wasn't there or whatever. I'm saying that it might be valid because they let the riotings go on in general. If your dogs are fighting in your room, you don't just let them go until or a ruckus is happening in your house. You don't let it go on until it gets out of control. You go in there and you fix it.
Right.
So I don't think not just here, but I think this should have been everywhere with all the looting, rioting, burning stuff down. They should have nipped that in the bud real fast.
Right.
So it's sort of like Texas, where they tried to build up that Chaz in there, and they had the dudes on horses, the cops' horses. They ran them out. Like, we don't want that here.
Shut that down.
It's basic broken windows theory, like in criminology. Once the broken windows, graffiti and stuff, people think it's okay to do that there, and it enables people. So if you stop that, it's not going to happen as frequently or as much.
Right. And I don't know about, I kind of want to look this up a little bit more, but apparently this guy, Gage Grosskreutz, also had 2 criminal charges against him dropped.
I did
October
see that.
28th.
For it was DUI?
Yeah.
Something to do with alcohol.
Yeah. And they got dropped 2 days before the trial. Which I find a little fishy.
I don't. Anyway, they found in 2005 the Supreme Court ruled that the police do not have constitutional duty to protect you from harm. So
that's interesting.
If I can come up with the case, that'd be great. So anyway, so I just want to throw it out there that people like to say, "Oh, you don't need a firearm; you just call the police." It's not guaranteed that they are going to help you. I mean, look at who was the officer of the shooting in Florida who stood outside.
Oh, yeah, okay, I found it. So the guy who survived, the guy who survived, the one who got shot in the arm, had cases of domestic abuse, prowling, trespassing, and burglary that were dropped 6 days before the trial began.
Probably because it shows bad character traits.
And now they can say, well, he wasn't charged, or he wasn't convicted of these crimes, so you can't use that. But
it's interesting.
I don't know.
I'm sure there was some deal made.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right. I mean, and also, how can they have... I mean, he's the only one that was alive that got shot to testify. Like, how would it look if the only guy who's alive to testify, who was actually involved, has to testify in fucking his orange jumpsuit? Are you even allowed to testify?
I'm sure he wasn't. Well, he wouldn't be an orange jumpsuit. He was like in jail. Even then, they get suits, but I don't think they would.
They wear orange.
I don't think that they. I'm saying I don't think he was like in jail for these charges. He's probably just on bond or something, or just out.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if he was arrested for these charges,
I wonder if the defense attorney can bring it up when they're questioning him about his pending charges, because technically you're assumed innocent until proven guilty. Right. So technically he's innocent of those charges until it actually goes to trial.
So I don't think that's probably why it was never brought up.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. It wasn't brought up that I was aware of. Anyways, that's enough on that.
Yeah, I'm about tapped out on that guy.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have a decision later in the week.
It's going to be interesting.
Super interested to see how it turns out.
What else we got going on in the world?
Well, there was some fun stuff today that came out with Miss Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I'm not too up to date on that. Just
it's real brief. It's
just
real
like
brief.
51% of the population, she rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either, to be honest. But I mean, I just think the situation is funny. I haven't done a whole bunch of research on it, but I know that what's the date today? The 15th? Is today the 15th?
Yep, all day.
Okay. So the 14th, CNN released a piece that talked about all of these issues in the White House between Biden and Kamala and their respective offices. And then later in the night, Jen Psaki, the press secretary, at like 10 o'clock at night, puts out a tweet that reads something to the effect of, just in case anyone's wondering, no, Biden and Kamala are fine.
Well, I wasn't wondering, but now I am.
Right. Which led a bunch of people to be like,
something's up if you're telling me something is not up. Something is for sure up.
Yeah. So this is the exact tweet from Jen Psaki last night. It says, for anyone who needs to hear it, VP is not only a vital partner to the POTUS, but is a bold leader who has taken on a key important challenges facing the country, from voting rights to addressing root causes of migration to expanding broadband.
That last one I can get down on.
That's part of the we'll get there.
Infrastructure.
Anyways, so they put this up, and everyone's kind of like, you don't have to say a relationship's good if the relationship's good. You know what I mean?
It's like the couples who have a joint Instagram account.
Right.
Everything is not good.
That is not cool.
Someone got caught doing something they weren't supposed to.
100%. And then, so that went out last night. And then today, CNN, again, which really surprises me that this is coming from CNN. But anyways, beyond that, they put another one out that's an analysis that says, here's how you know the White House is worried about Kamala Harris. And they go on to proceed to say that, she's not super involved in things, and she's been sidelined because of the growing tensions with Biden. And this is what people within their respective, offices are saying, that, there's issues, and they're worn out by what they see as entrenched dysfunction and lack of focus between the two.
Well, here's the thing: those guys better be real nice to her, because homeboy can leave at any moment, and she's taking over.
That is true, but I don't know. I feel like she might be trying to distance herself, to be honest, because he's shit not only his pants, but also the bed. So bad.
I like it. That was funny.
That he can't possibly run for a second term.
No.
So if you start planting this seed in early, she's already been in the background of most of these things.
Yeah, but she really hasn't done anything.
That's what I'm saying. She's been in the background.
And people still don't like her, and she hasn't done anything.
I think it's part of the plan. Biden was the name that could beat Trump. So Biden was put first.
Right.
But I don't think anybody actually had the confidence that this man could actually run the show for 4, let alone 8 years. They just wanted Trump out. If you notice, Kamala was actually one of the front runners in the Democratic Party running for president. And then she dropped out before any of the primaries even started.
Because no one liked her.
She was one of the front runners of the party.
she got dumped. She was the first one out.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, it wasn't. You think it was by choice?
Yes, it was 100%.
You think it was her choice that she got? Dumped.
I do. I think because she knew. I think this is part of a bigger plan. I'm just speculating. This might be the conspiracy side of me coming out. But I think that they wanted, because that now ups her name, just like it raised Biden's name to be VP for Obama.
I don't know. I don't think it's enough to overcome like her personality or lack thereof. Name recognition is a lot to run on. But
Unfortunately, that's almost all of it. Like our elections these days are, I'm going to vote against the person I don't like for the person that I recognize their name. I feel like that's why most people vote, unfortunately.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. So I think that she took the VP spot just to sit in the background while Biden tore shit up.
And then she could run on being not Biden.
Everything.
And then she could run on being not Biden.
And then she can run on being Biden but not Biden. But now she's trying to slowly space herself from Biden.
Maybe.
So then she could be like, look, I'm fucking sorry, guys.
I wanted to do more.
I wanted to do more. He wouldn't let me. We were having problems from the beginning. But that old crazy man, Sleepy Joe, just kept shit in the bed.
That's not going to get old. That's probably my favorite story about him.
The fact that it was all over the news.
You heard about like the Duchess, or was it the Duchess? And he was like farting a lot in front of her.
Yes.
Where like she couldn't carry on a conversation.
Oh, Fox News played this little snippet. It was fake. It was a parody. I'm sure some dumb people thought it was real, but they like showed this clip of him shaking hands with someone, but it was one of those like prolonged handshakes for a photo op. So like they're just sitting there shaking, but they played this long ass fart sound across it for like 30 seconds straight, and it was just fucking hilarious. It was great.
You know, homeboy's got on those Great Depends. You think they gotta do a diaper check once a shift?
Did you see that one video where he gets off the plane and he like runs up to the reporters and he's like, "They wipe my butt."
No. Is it real?
It's fucking talk.
Oh man, hopefully he's gonna pull it up for me. But yeah, you think they like do like a diaper check like once a shift, make sure they don't get any skin breakdown or anything, or
they better
running around fully loaded.
I
just want to know. We just need someone to confirm that story.
There's some people who say that like he.
Oh man, he's losing
the first fucking Biden. They wipe my butt. The first thing that pops up. Biden soils himself regularly. Dementia worsening.
Dude, like, I hate to make fun of the guy. Clearly,
Joe Biden literally can't stop shitting himself.
Oh man, it's a real thing, dude. But
oh my gosh, I really want to find this video.
Better him than me.
I'm not gonna be able to find it on Google. I'm gonna have to DuckDuckGo it.
But yeah, I guess it's been happening for a little bit here. You know he's got someone in there. Like, come with me, Mr. President.
There's no way this.
Let's go talk, and they got to do a diaper check.
There's videos of him, like, walking, and, like, oh, there was this one video. He was walking. He was supposed to walk on the sidewalk, right?
Yeah.
And then turn somewhere. And, like, one of the Secret Service dudes just, like, keeps walking into the grass because he's rounding the outside to protect and make sure that nothing's in the bushes and shit, right? Biden just follows this man right out and through the bushes. I don't know.
Well,
it's kind of crazy. I'll find this video, but move on to the next part.
Oh, other one is actually I was going to move on to Beto O'Rourke.
Oh, he's fun.
Robert O'Rourke, if you will.
Oh, my butt's been wiped. That's what he says. Video unavailable.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we got Beto running for was a governor in Texas.
That's like the worst state he could possibly run for.
You think?
Is that a real question?
I know people are going to say, here's the thing.
The only thing I think of when I think of him is, hell yeah, I'm going to take my guns.
Right.
Which I don't think is going to fly well in Texas.
Well, it's getting bluer and bluer. Abbott is doing not great things. We got the abortion bill they passed, and I don't think Texas is as pro-gun as they say. They don't have constitutional carry. They just
passed that.
They just passed that lets them carry a handgun without a permit, with a majority of people opposing it.
How do they pass it if a majority of people opposed it?
It's a good question. Let's look at. I would read the article, but we're on video right now. I'm assuming he can just mandate it.
And just say, all right, this is okay now?
Yeah. Let's see. But even so, I mean, really, we got another winter coming up. I don't know if people already forgot about how they handled the winter last year. Do you think they made any changes? I think, you remember the whole power grid failing? No, you already forgot too.
Oh, winter. I thought you said winter. I was like,
No,
what the fuck are you talking about?
I got a speech impediment, but thanks for bringing it up on video. Some would say it's just a New Jersey accent.
All right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. So they did. That was not a good winter for them. It was out of the ordinary, though.
Right, but think they made any changes?
Yeah.
You think so?
Fuck yeah.
I don't.
That's not a mistake you make twice.
They knew they should have done it for the last 10 years. People were telling them it was going to fail at any moment if a storm comes. They're lucky they made it that far.
To be fair, they didn't anticipate a fucking gigantic snowstorm in the middle of a desert. Like, it's just not. It's not something that you really anticipate.
I mean, if you're playing the odds, yes, you're statistically not likely to get it.
Do you have fucking flood insurance in Arizona? No.
Some people need it.
Where?
What do you mean? Things flood out here all the time. This place sucks the way they have stuff planned out here.
The roads flood.
What do you think they flood into?
Not my fucking house. I've never seen it happen.
Not your house. Some people.
I've lived in lots of houses.
Some people are in a flood zone.
We don't have tornado insurance.
The ground's solid clay here. It doesn't get soaked into the ground. It just keeps flowing until it goes into someone's house.
And it just flows right down into the giant fucking wash that's behind my house.
Some washes.
My point is, you just don't, if you can't even have insurance for it in that area, it's probably not going to happen.
I mean, it's likely to not happen. However, you can't, especially if you're a governor and you're responsible for your constituents' safety, you can't just hope that the bad stuff doesn't happen. A game plan isn't hoping something doesn't happen. That's not a good game plan.
A reactionary game plan?
Yeah.
All right.
If you're playing a game and you want to win, you can't just hope I hope the other guy messes up.
So my point to this whole argument is shit happened. And logically, they would learn from that and fix it.
You would think.
We'll see this winter.
We'll see. I hope they fixed it.
I hope they did too.
But I don't know if his run is gonna be as bad as everyone's making it out to be.
I think Beto is just such an unlikable person.
I don't disagree.
I just don't think it's gonna work.
I mean, it is, and I think their blue is not the normal blue.
Well, that's the thing about the normal blue these days is the normal blue is so far left that it's just you can't win with that.
Right.
If the Democrats could put somebody up who was a moderate,
like a true moderate, it would go a lot farther.
By far, everywhere.
Yeah.
Same thing with Republicans.
He's definitely have to change some things running there, but especially catering or pandering, I should say, to those Democrats, I think is not the normal ones from Colorado. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like every attack ad is going to be him saying, "Hell yeah, we're going to take your guns."
Oh yeah, they're going to be.
And then him riding up on a fucking skateboard and skipping. "Hell yeah, we're going to take your." I just don't see it going well. I think he's I think he's fucked. It's not going to happen. It'll be funny. I'll watch it. I'll pay attention.
I mean, it's going to be interesting with the mandates and stuff. What his
so I don't know if
Abbott, you know what I mean? How it opened everything up and compared to what he's going to want to do.
Kinda.
I think it's going to be interesting.
But I don't know if it's a ploy to get people hyped or not. But I've been seeing more and more headlines about how the Democrats are in trouble for 2022. That this next midterm election,
Virginia, New Jersey,
for sure, it showed a lot in the little election that just happened. I mean, they lost a lot of their seats that they didn't think that they were going to lose in these state elections, but they're already pushing that it's going to be a big loss for them, which is why they're trying to get all these big things done right away because they don't think that they're going to be in power for much longer.
They're probably gonna have a huge, what is it called? The mid-election turnout. I think they're gonna get the right fired up on that, but from 4 years or 3 more years, we'll see if they have enough left over to.
Well, it's kind of what happens in every election cycle. I feel like a new party gets in, they fuck things up. Either way, they completely undo what everybody did the time before, right? It pisses everybody off. And then the midterms come, and the other party takes back a bunch of seats, which limits how much more bullshit the party in power can do.
Right.
Therefore, it looks like for 2 years they did nothing bad because they were no longer the majority. So therefore, they're reset for. I mean, if we forget the news on a weekly basis, you kind of forget the bullshit that happened 4 years ago. You know,
we do have short memories in this country.
Yes. So yeah, that's kind of that. I mean, they did get. Oh yeah, that's the last thing that I have at least. The infrastructure bill.
Oh yeah, we
got signed in today.
I like how they're calling that like a huge win when they gave up 50% of what they were asking for.
See, now that just brought me to like when I sell something on OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace, and I want $50 for it, I put it up for $70.
Yeah. So you think they were asking like 1.5 the whole? You think that's what they were thinking 1.5?
I think so.
Yeah,
I
mean, hopefully they get stuff done with it. I mean, broadband everywhere.
I'm cool with that.
We do need that. Hopefully,
I mean, Elon's kind of trying to do that.
Hopefully,
with the
they
Starlink.
think ahead a little bit and they get it fiber.
Right.
That would be ideal.
No, that was dial-up.
What's that?
And you pick up the phone and shit. Yeah.
I think we're way past that.
Yeah,
especially with everyone needing technology or even basic internet to get stuff done these days.
I'm kind of curious on how you've read up on Starlink, haven't you?
Yeah.
That seems interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy how one man can provide internet to all these different people. Yeah, no, it's great. I'm trying to get my parents to get it up north. Like places that are relying on like was it Netscape or I forget the other one.
Dude,
they like
your internet goes out all the time.
Yeah, but if I wasn't a gamer, I would probably get that.
Does it not support gaming speeds?
The speeds are there, but there's a higher latency. So if you're trying to click and get them headshots, you might be missing a little bit.
Gotcha. All right.
So, but yeah, no, he's getting really fast. The Starlink is getting a lot of good speeds, just higher latency. But if you're out in the middle of the woods, it's better than nothing. It's great.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah, otherwise they're doing like 2 megabytes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's slow. It's basically dial up. So yeah, hopefully they get some. I know like a lot of bridges around the country are failing. Like there's a lot of infrastructure that does need help. I doubt it's actually going to get used for everything that needs to get used for.
Do you remember LimeWire?
Yeah. Shoot, I'm older than you. I remember Kazaa. That was the precursor.
That was the precursor to LimeWire?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was like back in the day.
Because I remember
LimeWire. Take you like 2 hours to download a whole song.
I remember LimeWire tried to make a shift, and then there was like a FrostWire, but that lasted like 5 minutes and died. And then BitTorrent, was that a thing?
That's a current thing, I believe.
That's still a current
I don't
thing?
really sail the high seas with the whole Pirate Bay and everything, but I think that's still a thing.
I didn't understand how that shit worked.
Now they make a real paycheck. I can just buy DVDs and songs.
Or just wait for them to be on Netflix.
Or wait for them to be on Netflix. Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I bought any kind of video stuff besides going to the movies.
No, but movies coming back. AMC still holding strong. Keep it going, guys.
Did you ever go to Blockbuster?
Oh, do you still love Blockbuster? Like on the weekends?
That was exciting.
I don't think you should do Blockbuster. You get the game came out or the new movie. You used to have a whole wall of new movies. Get your candy and just grind some like GoldenEye 007.
And then it turned to Redbox. And then it turned to Netflix when they would send you the CDs.
No.
And now it's all
Blockbuster had the opportunity to do that, and they didn't think that was the future.
Sad.
Somewhere there's some guy really regretting his life choices. There's still one Blockbuster up. I think it's in Oregon.
I don't know. What got us on this? The internet thing. Internet thing took me back. I remember like the sound of the phone dialing.
Oh yeah.
That was weird. Or like being on the phone and another family member would pick up the phone and, Mom, get off the phone. Or you're talking to your girl and shit when you're 4, 5.
4. Remember landlines? 8. I haven't seen a landline in a house.
I saw a video recently of like a bunch of people don't even know like, the sign for hang up. Like nobody gets why that's a thing because they don't realize that that's how you used to hang up a phone.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Dang. We're getting old, man.
We got off track.
Yeah.
Where were we?
I think we're wrapping up here.
All right. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Well, all right, guys. Have a good week. We'll catch you again next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. No, I'm not even going to bring it up. I was going to say we're going to try to get on TikTok, but
Nah, who knows what we're trying to do?
It's not working.
We're still working out the kinks here, guys. Stick with us. I want to say, Lou, congratulations, making some big life change. My buddy from New Jersey just got engaged.
Oh, congratulations,
Yeah,
Lou.
man, it's huge. You'll like it.
Neil, I'm taking it you didn't watch the last video because we didn't have our 1 like.
Yeah.
So, Neil, I'm talking to you
We're
about
counting
that.
on you.
I'm going to talk to you about that on Wednesday or Thursday or
All
Friday.
right, guys. Have a good week.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Later.
Bye.
Dude,
It felt good.
We were cruising on that one.
Yeah.
We went almost like 50 minutes.
Well, I mean, we have to stop.
Probably an hour with the stops. Tell me what.
48.